already like 4 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm not really good at waking up on time if I don't have any obligations or anything like that. Very fortunate that 7th Street has a bike lane. The bike lane runs all the way up until 7th Street, up until you hit the Robert F. Kennedy Community School, and then it's like, where do I go from here? This is my first electric longboard. It's the Meepo V4 Shuffle, and I like it a lot. It's much more comfortable than a shortboard, but it does have some downsides. I have the standard battery, which only gives about 10 miles. So for me, that's a little bit more than enough to get to somewhere and back. I know you can upgrade to the extended model, which would give about 20 miles. That's a lot better, because if you want to cruise around for a long time, 10 miles is not enough. The board length is also pretty long compared to a short board. The ride is very smooth and comfortable, but when you're not riding, it's very annoying to just lug around. Dude, fucking car. People drive so crazy. One here. The Radio Korea Center. Alright, so I'm here in front of the Radio Korea building, and today they're having this arts exhibition. I don't know what you want to call it. Performances, dances, and other local stuff hosted by the Gettys. It's pretty interesting.
Yes, it is.
Alright, so I'm gonna try out this new lens that I just got recently. I'll explain more of it later, but if it looks more cinematic, then you'll understand why. So, I've been living here in Koreatown for maybe about more than 5 to 6 years, I'd say. A lot of people ask me why I like living here. It's just so awesome. The weather here is great. It's very convenient to get around here. There's a lot of good food, and my favorite is the community here. There's lots of good friends to be made. A lot of people coming from different countries, different communities, different backgrounds, all experiencing the same place. I think Koreatown's an awesome place. And there's always stuff like this going on all the time. Speaking of good food, looks pretty good. Koreatown has a lot of good food. It's not really good on your wallet. It's pretty hard to eat here as a single person, I think, without having to spend a lot of money. From now on, I'll start trying to eat healthier and cheaper. In my last video, I talked about change and some of the things that I wanted to implement in my life. I guess one of the things should be a diet. I really like Koreatown, but I'm thinking that I've been living here for long enough. I feel like, you know, I'm not getting younger. Couldn't really do much the last 2 years because of the pandemic, and so I feel like my personal growth has kind of stunted because of that. I will say that I really like living here in Koreatown. I love this place, and I can imagine myself living here for the rest of my life. But I think that before I get too old, I really want to see the rest of the world. So this might potentially be the last year that I'm living here in Koreatown. I'm hoping that maybe next year I'll be able to travel and hopefully move to another place, at least for a little bit. Maybe one day we can think about coming back here to Koreatown. I could retire here or live here or whatever, because I do really like living here. Okay, now that's out of the way, I really wanted to talk about this lens that I was using earlier. This is the Sear-Ray 50mm anamorphic lens. It's hard to explain this, but basically how this works is that the glass squeezes the image horizontally, and then you get a really wide horizontal range. It also has a lot of interesting effects. Okay, so I hope I'm in focus. I can't really tell because there's no autofocus on this, but basically what you're looking at is the raw, unsqueezed image, and my head might be a little skinny, but all I have to do in post is kind of stretch it out and once I stretch it out, you'll see the black bars up here and down here, and now I should look regular. If you have a subject close up and you have a focus in the foreground, it looks a lot better. But you can kind of see that flare here in the sunset. Alright, this is a kind of boring subject, but look at the background. It looks pretty good. The lens is probably not ideal to vlog on, but it's fun to play around with. I won't know how good these are until I edit these because the image is all squished and out of focus. Alright. So I just got home and I'm curious about all the footage and everything that I took. What I'm going to do is I'm going to process all the footage from the entire weekend and hopefully a video can come out of this. Also, if you're interested in any of the things that I put in my videos, I'll put a link in the description for all of that stuff. They may or may not be affiliated, but if you buy through me, it'll help me out. It'll give me some pennies along the way. Whoa.